Hello there, this is Dave Allen for Good and Geeky, and today I want to have a look at doing some work in Affinity Designer. It's a remarkable application. You can do an awful lot of stuff with it, and I want to show you how to make this design here. Someone was asking about this in Facebook, about how to get Affinity Designer to make this, and it's not that difficult. You just got to start using some of the tools, and then there's a couple of little tricks I can show you to get this sort of design to make it work. One possibility to make this would be to get your pen tool. If you've got a design like this that you want to copy, and you could sort of start at a point like this here, drag your pen tool around here, and basically just follow the curve. So this would be something you could do if you've got a rasterized image, a bitmap type of image, and you want to do it so that you have to make these nodes sort of follow this around here like this. Start at one end, go all the way around, get it as close as you can to start with these sort of nodes. You could do straight nodes like this, or you could do the sort of curved nodes where you, in this position here, I'm going to drag it and click and drag on it so I can get the curve there. Many of these you can go back into later and sort of change, and then bring it down to the end there, and then when you get finally to the end there, you can close the curve up. Okay, so that's closed it and made that into a curve. And then what you do is you go into your node editing tool up there. And this one here, we just grab that and bring it out. And sometimes you have to put an extra few nodes here in a few places. So let's bring that out here. It really depends on the sort of shapes that you're working with, whether you want to do it this way or not. So it looks a fairly simple design, and basically what we've got shapes which come around here, go around in a circle around here, and then back up the top again. One way to do this would be to use one of these designs here. So let's go to this one here. The donut tool is what I've been using. But you could maybe get something like the circle tool. Hold down the shift key, maybe the command key if you wanted to come out from the center. Do that. And then you could basically sort of get sort of the shapes that you want to follow this around. So maybe if I want to, let's say, do a duplicate of that. So command and J to do a duplicate. So if I do this and then hold down the shift key and the command key, and I could do that, get it to the width that I want it to be, go back to the move tool again, select those two, and then I can use the subtract tool. So that gives us the rounded sort of bit there, and then I could sort of chop this up and make the sort of straight bits fly off at whatever angle I want them to fly off at. But that's not the best way to do it, because we've got a donut tool which will make it just a little bit easier. And we're going to start from scratch. So the first thing to do is to get to your donut tool, and I'm holding the shift key down and the command key. Well, actually, I won't use the command key. I'll just hold the shift key down to make it an exact circle. Okay, now once you've got the exact circle, you can then use the donut tool to specify the hole radius. So let's go to the hole radius up here and change that to make the hole a bit bigger. So I'm going to be working with something about that sort of width of angle, as it were. And I can also change the start angle and the finish angle. Now in this case here, the start angle I want, I think, is at 90. So I'll have it starting at the top there. So this is where the line's going to come into over this side here. And then I'm going to bring this here, and I want to put in there 330. 330. Okay, so that's the angle I'm going to come out at with the other line. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make another copy of this here. So do Command J, and then I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to use the Shift key and the Command key together. And what I want to do is I want that to be coming in there, so it's just a tad smaller, just a tad inside the inside circle of the previous one. Now, if you want to have these so that they're exactly the same width here and this one here, then you have to make some changes, all right? So in this one here, we've got a hole radius of 76 degrees, and say I want to make it a bit sort of bigger on the inside, so there's a similar sort of width. I can do that there, or maybe I want to have it smaller. Just whatever your design calls for. So let's do a small one, this one, just to make it more interesting. Now what I want to do is do a Command J again, and I'm going to do a resizing of that there. Come up to that top corner, on the left top corner there, and hold down the Shift key and the Command key and bring it in so it's just inside there. It doesn't matter that I've got a gap in between there, in between the two, because we're going to fill that. We're putting an outline around these shapes anyway. So we'll have that one there as a little bit thicker sort of shape in the middle. I think it's worthwhile to actually think about using some guides. So let's bring some guides down here. We'll put one guide in here and align it to the top. Bring in another guide in here, align it to the bottom of that first one there. Let's get in a bit closer there so we can see how it's going. Didn't align to where I wanted it to align. Let's put it there. So I want it to align to that there. Bring the next one down and we're going to align that to the top of the next object. And we'll do the same again until we've got all of these lined up. So that's lined up as well. One more to bring down for the next one. That lines up there. I'm using the magnetic tool on this here. So there's that magnetic tool there, look. And I can use that to get these guides to go exactly where I want them to go. So let's bring this down here and I'm going to put this here so it goes onto there. Sometimes with these here, what you need to do is you really need to zoom in a lot closer there and maybe turn it so they're just looking at the wireframe so you can see a bit better what's going on. So you can see in this one here, for instance, that I haven't got it quite right. It could be close enough. It depends on the level of accuracy you're looking for. See, this one here is sort of got in nice and close on that corner there, but this one here didn't. So I'll just bring that there so it's exactly on it. Now I've got those guides in there and I've got the snapping on there. I can make those really easily. So I think the best way to do this is to get in close to these here, for instance. Get this close into this one, top one, and choose your rectangle tool and get close to that there. You see that it's going to magnetically click to that line there and just make one. And it's going to magnetically go down to the guide. And then I'm going to do another one. So you see the gaps working out quite nicely there. And I can do it so that it actually lines up automatically with the one above it there because I've got the snapping on there. And then do the same with the next one down as well. So get it to line up there. Bring this down. Bring it down to the next guideline down below there. And then that is going to line up automatically. The next thing to do with that is to get it so that it goes across the page. So here's our page. I'm going to use the so get the move tool. I'm going to hold down the shift key, select that and select that. So I'm going to have the three things selected. Now I can just drag that out to the length that I want it. Let's have it at its length at about there, okay? So that's that bit done. Now what I want to do next is I want to save myself having to recreate these lines out of this space here. I want to use some of these bits over on this side here. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to make another rectangle. Let's get the rectangle and I'm going to put the rectangle over here. And that rectangle is on top of those other three rectangles. So now what I can do is I can do this. Now the best way to do this is to do a Command J to duplicate it, then select this first rectangle at the top here, and then I'm going to use the subtract tool. Okay, so what that's done is it's subtracted this space out from the middle, and it's going to make this into two objects. It's in two parts of one object at the moment there, but we'll show you how to change that in a minute. So this here is our duplicated object. I'm going to do a Command J again to do another duplicate of it. Then I'm going to select this one here and I'm going to do the same again. Do a subtract using our boolean tools there to make the things that we want. Now for this last one I don't need to do a duplicate again because I've got it still there. If you don't do a duplicate, the thing that you're using to do the cookie cutter thing with, it goes, so that's why we have to make a duplicate, okay? So I'm going to select that, so I'm going to do a subtraction. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to this up here and go to the layer tool and go to separate curves in the geometry section. One piece and that is another piece. Okay, so I'm going to do the same with this next one here. So go up to the same tool at the top there, layer, geometry, separate curves. Okay, so now what I can do is I can select these three things here and I can move them and I can put them where I need them. And where I need them is over here. Okay, so let's just do what we've got to do with this here, which is to turn them around. Zoom in closer so we can see what's going on. So I'm going to use this tool here to turn it around. I'm going to hold down the shift key and it's going to come around at specific angles. And that brings it around at 60 degrees. So that's going to put it at the right angle so that it should join up nicely with this here. And you know what it doesn't? And you know what it doesn't? Is because they're the opposite way round. So what we need to do with that is before we sort of turn it around, so we do Command Z on that there to bring it around this way, I'm going to flip it top to bottom. Okay, so that's flipped it top to bottom. So let's just select that and get our move tool. So that's it's down at the bottom this time. Okay, so now I want to do this is I want to turn this around, hold the shift key down again and bring it around 60 degrees. So actually it's 120 degrees this time because it's been turned around. And I'm going to get that and I'm going to be able to join this up onto this bit here. And the easiest way to do this is to just get in really close to it, and you can do this manually. So if I bring this there, I can see it's not quite right yet. Let's just get this selected there. I've got it all selected still, and I want to get it so that it just joins up that there, so I'm going to be able to join these together. Okay, so that's that there done. Let's just do Command O to bring it back out again to see the whole screen. And then what I want to do with this here is I want to extend this out so it comes underneath this these lines here. Okay, so I'm going to bring those three out here, and that's good. Now what I want to do is I want to chop this bit off the top here, this section at the top. I want to chop that off. I don't need that. Okay, so the best way to do that is to use the boolean tools again. I'm going to use the rectangle tool. I've got the rectangle tool going. Yes, the rectangle tool there. So the best way to do this is to do that like that, and then grab this one at the bottom here. So I'm going to go back to the move tool again. I've got this selected at the top there. I'm going to select one of these things underneath. Let's go for this one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the subtract tool. So it's taking away the top of that there, but it's always taking away the cookie cutter thing as well. So I have to make another cookie cutter. So now I'm going to do that there, snap into the tool there, do the same as I did before. Go to the move tool, bring that up so that it's across the top of that there. This time I'm going to do Command J so that it's duplicated. Then I'm going to select this one underneath, and I'm going to go to subtract. So we've got rid of the top part of this line here, and then I'm going to do that one there, select it, then select the one underneath it there. And it does make a difference as to which one's on the top. So you want to have the one that you're cutting from to be underneath. The one that you're using as the cookie cutter has to be on top, okay? And you can change these around in the layers if you need to. So now what I need to do is just go to the subtract tool again, and there we go. Now what I want to do is I want to take these three things that I've got here, and I want to extend them. I want to bring them so that up the top here, okay? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Command and J to copy that, and then I'm going to take this up here and put it in approximately the right place. So I'm going to start a line that goes from here up through here and then goes on up past the top of the shape there, okay? And then let's get our pen tool. So get the pen tool, start the line here. So the line's going to go there, and I want it to go up to here. So I'm just going to put the line anywhere up there for the moment. So that's the line in the wrong place. It's not lining up with this bit here where it needs to line up. But if I get the node editing tool, I can get this node here, and I can bring it so that this line lines up with the edge of that there. In some occasions, some designs that you do, you might need to have this bit more accurate, but for the accuracy that I'm requiring here, this is good enough, okay? So then what I can do is I can bring in another one of these here and put it in that spot there. Let me just zoom into that to make sure it's gone in exactly the right place, and it hasn't. So let's get the move tool again. I'm going to get that and bring it so that it's just in the right spot, crossing that line there. Okay, so that's going to set us up then for taking this. Going to select these three objects here. Got those three selected, and I'm going to bring it so that it lines up here. It's clicking, it's not exactly snapping to where I wanted to snap. I want to snap this corner to this here, and it's not doing it. So what I'm going to do is have to get in zoomed in close. The snapping will occur to the guideline there, and I'm going to bring this across here. I've still got the three things selected. hold down the shift key just in case, and that is going to be me set up now. Okay, so I can get these two nodes here and I can bring them both down at the same time, and I can bring it so that it lines up, and that's just perfect. Okay, and then I'll do the same with the next one. I'm going to do this without using the lines to help me line it up. I'm going to do it by sight. You might want to do it by using the guidelines I used before, but I think guiding it by sight is going to be good enough for this here. It's in pretty much the right place. Okay, and do the same again with this one over here. So I select this here, and on this occasion here I don't need to select the two of them because that one's in the right place. I'm just going to select this one here, and I'm just going to bring it down manually, let it snap to the guideline, and getting the gap in between the two about right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get this rectangle, put it here, snaps up to my guideline there. I'm going to do Command and J to make a copy of it. I'm going to go to the Move tool. So there's the Move tool. Select that one there. I'm going to go up here to the Subtract. Use the boolean tool to subtract. Now I'm going to select this one, and then I'm going to use the subtraction tool again. I've got that subtracted, and it didn't work. It subtracted the wrong way around because obviously I've got one thing that's on top of the other. Let's do Command Z, get this the right way around. Okay, let's make sure we've got these in the right place. This should be on the top of everything else. So let's select that, and you see the rectangle's a bit low down in this list of objects here. And I'm just going to move that up to the top, and now I know that it's in the right place. Now I'm going to select this here and subtract again, and this time it's going to work. So the cookie cutter that I want to get rid of goes away, and the shape that I want to keep is still there. So these two I want to connect up. So I've got this circle here, or part of a donut. Now before I can do anything with that, I've got to convert it to curves. So let's click on Convert to Curves. And then I'm going to select the rectangle. So I've got two objects selected, and I'm going to click on the Add. So that's worked out nicely there. That's made one object out of two objects. And now I'm going to select this here. That's the part of the donut there. I'm going to convert that to curves. And then I'm going to select the rectangle. There are two things selected now. I'm going to click on this here. And then I'm going to do the same again with this one here. Okay, so the next thing to do is to do this here. There's these joins here. Let's just zoom in on those. And I'm going to get the tool at the top there. I'm going to deselect first, then select this one here, so make sure you get the right one. Sometimes what you need to do with these things here is just to lock the ones that you don't want to work with so that you can't select them by mistake. For this here, this design is not too difficult, so we can get away with not doing that. So I've got those two things selected. We don't need to convert this to curves already because it's already been converted. So I'm going to join that one together. Going to select that next one, then the rectangle shape there, or not a rectangle anymore, but you know what I mean. Select that one and join them together with the boolean tools. Then I'm going to have this selected, that selected, and I'm going to click on Add. Okay, so now you see how the shapes are working out. They're all the same colour at the moment. Let's do some changing of colours. Okay, so the colours that you want to put into this here, let's just grab this here. Okay, and I'm going to get the colours back in there, look. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this here, bring it up so I can take the colours from this design at the top here, using the eyedropper tool. Makes it a bit easier, doesn't it, to do that. So I'm going to select this one here. Going to get the eyedropper tool from up there, bring it down to here, and I'm going to do it so that it is that colour. So that's put the colour into the eyedropper, tap on that there, and we've got the colour that we want in there. And the colour for the outline is going to be a blue sort of colour, isn't it? Can't see it in those list of swatches there. So I'm going to get my eyedropper again, bring it across to here, get that sort of light blue colour, and then I'm going to tap on that there and got a light blue colour. Now I can't see anything at the moment because you can't see how big the stroke is. At the moment it's only 1 point, so it's not big enough. Let's zoom in a bit closer to this here so we can see what's going on here. So let's just make that a bit bigger. Doesn't that work well? Except something's not working out quite right in this bit here, because this shape here, it's looking like it's connected. Okay, so basically what we need to do here with this is to, let's see, how can we do this one here? The easiest way to probably do this is to put an extra little line in there. So I'm going to get the pen tool, and I'm going to start there, go over to there. That's sort of sorted that out, hasn't it? Okay, so there's our design, and then we can do whatever we want with this.